the internet, at the social media, let's say specifically the social media, is absolutely fascinating because it is a microcosm, a tiny microcosm of the world and people's perception of it. But because it is the internet, it gives even more than usual the perception that this is the perspective of the world as an entity. And so we're all trapped in this little echo chamber that is Blue Sky or Instagram or whatever it is that you are on, but you're convinced that it's the entire world. And so everything gets bounced around in there and reinforced with its own little culture, but everyone is convinced that this is everything. And there's nothing to dissuade them otherwise.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because, like you said, it's just how it is now. You know, somebody puts an internet opinion up on YouTube or something that gains traction, and all of a sudden that's like fact now, and it's like it always was just an opinion.
I had somebody on my feed who made the observation that it doesn't matter what platform they are using, all of the most rage-inducing comments are always at the top. Doesn't matter what it is.
You're right.
It can be algorithm driven. It can be as algorithm less as I guess they allow, and however those systems are built up. The rage bait and the anger is always at the top.
Yo, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Because you'll see a video and in the first comment, it'll be like, why did you post this? Or something contradictory. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
And I've come to the enlightened viewpoint of all of the like blue check mark, very obviously bot accounts that just say terrible takes for the sake of engagement bait. I just instantly block them. I'm tired of it.
Listen, Superman taught me that when he well, I don't know if you have seen it, but
there
was a part, the newest one. I don't want to ruin it if anybody hasn't seen it, but it was a part that Lex Luthor explained that he had the little monkeys doing, and I was like, yeah, that's real life. That's not even
I see. I'm very into like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra. I love that franchise. With the recent release of the movie, there are just so many like blue checkmark accounts that like just
the movie or the series.
All of
it.
Movie.
It's just
they had a movie.
Yo,
nice.
Why did they explain this in the show? And then it's the most obvious thing ever. Like it's literally explained in the context of the show, but it's just to get engagement bait and clicks and like comments and stuff. I'm just I can't take this anymore. I cannot take it anymore.
It's really unfortunate what happened to that movie. It was a good time. It was very well made. Very well done.
I loved it. Yeah.
Oh, good.
It was great.
Okay, that's good.
I've only seen one clip from it, and I guess it has to do with how Aang died. And whoever had posted the thing was like, nah, there's no way he would have died like that just because of all of the other insane things that he and Korra have done. I don't know. I don't know if he actually died in that scene. It was just something that
I don't want to know because I want to be surprised. But
you need I know what you're referring to, and you definitely need context to understand what's going on. So
makes sense
for that. Yeah.
But it's social media. You don't need context. You just need rage.
Rage.
That's right.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Zelda Universe Podcast. We are grateful to have you join us as we reminisce about our many adventures in the land of Hyrule and beyond. My name is Connor Schultz. It is a pleasure to be with you once again, and joining me today, we have expanded the roster. Well, not really expanded the roster, because everyone who's here has been here before, but we have more of them. One whole more. We'll just run down the list real quick. Cayden, great to have you back.
Always a pleasure.
Jason, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
And joining us once again, one of our features writers, Jared.
Hey there. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back. We talked about this at the very beginning of last podcast, and we had a wonderful discussion about the announcement of the Ocarina of Time remake, which at this point we are fairly confident is coming in mid-November. I'm hesitant to say November 15th. That is what I have heard. I don't know how definitive that is, so don't come and yell at me for giving you false information. If I happen to be wrong, it has happened in the past.
Yeah.
But as we are so close to a revisit to one of the most definitive Zelda games, video games in general, we thought it'd be a really fun idea to take an entire episode to reminisce about both the Ocarina of Time and where this remake may be taking us. So, let us begin with Medli's Melodies, the series in which we take our favorite songs from The Legend of Zelda or highlight a special piece of music from the creative fan community. And today we are looking at one of the latter, as SilvaGunner, who is fairly well known in the music creation space for some of their remixes and the like, has produced a theoretical title theme for our Ocarina of Time remake. I wanted to start by looking at the original melody as we get in the original game, which for the first half of this remake, this remix, I should say, doesn't really change all that much.
It's piano and strings, and then Ocarina comes in. It's very, it's very trio. It's a trio. I see when I first saw SilvaGunner, I was like, oh, here we go. There's gonna be another one of the joke remixes where it's gonna be, I don't know, like the Family Guy opening theme, but with Ocarina of Time music.
I kind of want to see that now.
Have you guys ever been got by SilvaGunner?
Oh yeah.
There's SilvaGunner and there's SilvaGunner, and Siva's with a capital I, but it looks like an L. And it's a second channel, and it will have a theme of a video game, but then it'll turn into the Flintstones theme, or it'll turn into Family Guy.
I heard the Flintstones one.
Yeah.
So
like I grew up with those joke remixes. Those always like jump scared me. So I saw that and I was like, oh, here we go, just another one of those. But now this does add in another music track, which in this case it's from Spirited Away, which I'm not familiar with the music, but I was scrolling through the comments of the original YouTube video, and someone said the joke for this remix is that it's actually freaking beautiful.
It's really good.
This is immaculate. It flows perfectly well. It's just I wouldn't be surprised if like something in like this existed in the upcoming remake.
I mean, even when he floated into Janet Jackson's song, the "Someone to Call My Lover," it was kind of like, well, yeah, that blended really good. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel like it was gonna lead there, but it didn't feel like it led there unnaturally, which is important when you make music like that. Even if you make it as a joke thing, it's just, if you know how to musically sound it together, like bring it together, like that stands out more than anything. I did not expect that to come in there. I was kind of like, oh, this is actually nice.
It's one of those rare instances where, a joke, what should just be, haha, oh, they remixed it with a funny theme, instead is actually like, whoa, this is really lovely. I really like this. And one summer's day from Spirited Away, Hayao Miyazaki and Joe Hisaishi, iconic piece of work, and people compare Studio Ghibli to Zelda all the time. So,
and that was one of the best movies too.
Oh, absolutely, incredible masterpiece. So it musically also blends together well. It's not just an aesthetic. I think those compositions really fit Zelda.
When you create a remix like this, and the major thing that stuck out to me when I started listening to this, and specifically looking into the songs that were being used for this remix, so it's like, Ventura Highway, what is Ventura Highway? So I look up the thing, and then obviously we're not going to be playing it here because We don't have any kind of copyright permissions for any of that, so go look it up yourself if you want to hear it. And there is something very country road about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It has that classic country feel and has that feeling of a journey, which is very Legend of Zelda, obviously. Someone to Call My Lover literally just takes from Ventura Highway as the underlying melody, so it's an easy transition into that. Being able to find bits and pieces of music that fit together thematically seems to be, speaking as someone who does not have experience or knowledge much on this field, seems to be the major thing that you want when you're creating a good remix. You can make any piece of music flow into another piece of music, but in order to make it like truly resonate and make it feel like its own, you need something that fits in a way like this that creates something poignant.
And I think they did a great job too. I really like the way they pieced that together. Something about video game music that just really transports you to a place. So whenever you can blend it with anything else, you know, especially if it's not a piece of music that's from a video game and it flows well, it's even more, you know, it's even better, really.
If I may draw another comparison, it's whoever did this, whether I don't know if SilvaGunner is a team of people, I assume it is, but whoever composed it, like they really did think, what would be a good piece to remix with? Like, what would be something that fits this tone and this style that's really beautiful and makes you actually excited for the remake and think about what kinds of things we'll hear from it. To draw another comparison, the Hero of Time album, which I believe was done by former Zelda Reorchestrated composers, made a really interesting choice in their Ganondorf theme to include a drum beat very similar to another Studio Ghibli movie, that being Princess Mononoke. There's a very iconic drum beat that they use for Ganon's theme, which is, again, it felt like a seamless blend. So in any case, it's very cool to see whenever we have someone who's very intentionally deciding how to make a remix that actually builds upon the original in ways that aren't just silly, but actually really lovely.
I want to backpedal a little bit and look at the original opening theme, which this is the primary source for this piece. You're all familiar with the origin of that original melody, correct?
Yes, I've heard of such things. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
I'm making sure that everyone's on the same page.
Original Zelda Wonders, we know it.
There we go. And I assume that those notes by itself don't have any significance. I'm looking at Cayden, who knows about musical themes and whatnot a lot more than me.
Sorry. Are we talking about the ba-da-dee, ba-da-da?
Yes, that.
Yeah,
I assume that is just a Kanji Kondo creation that has been used here. I don't know how much it's been used throughout the rest of the franchise or anything like that.
It does seem like one of his staples or one of his like signatures, because it appears also, yeah, as you said, in Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yes.
Yes,
It's the
I got it
flute
right.
theme.
The flute, yeah, as well as in Zelda 1 and Minish Cap, because there's the flute.
So.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right.
The ocarina, but it's the flute.
It's an ocarina. We all know what it is.
Yeah, it does the same exact thing. But I don't think Koji Kondo composed for that. I could be wrong though. I gotta double check.
I don't think so, because that was Capcom.
Right. As far as any significance for that melody goes, I think it's just flute. We'll call it the flute motif.
But what's actually fascinating to me about this theme is this is your opening introduction to Ocarina of Time. This is the Zelda adventure, at least for all of us old people before Breath of the Wild stormed in and renovated everything. This is epic adventure as defined by Zelda. And yet our opening theme is not that of epic adventure. Honestly, it's a lullaby. So, obvious reference perhaps to Zelda's lullaby, but this feels more like a bedtime story. than it does a grand adventure to save the world.
I always took it as like the bedtime story that your elder or grandfather was about to tell you, and it's like, before we go to bed, let me tell you of the story of the young boy named Link and the Ocarina of Time, and then you have that song playing. You know what I mean? So I always took it as like, that's the route they were trying to go, because I always wonder like, why isn't it the other opening or this other one opening? But I think that's more so what they were probably going with. Not to mention the flute or the recorder or whatever is like the first musical instrument we ever get introduced to in Zelda anyway. So what a good callback to that, in Ocarina. Because I mean, they had the Ocarina or the fairy, what you call it, in A Link to the Past, but I felt like, I don't know, I feel like that was more of a side thing to them, whereas like the recorder was like a very important instrument from the get go in Zelda 1. So I always thought that's what they were trying to go with.
Side note, but I was just thinking about this as you were talking about Link to the Past. Do you know what melody the flute plays in A Link to the Past?
It's at the tip of my tongue.
It's like a
Da-la, da-la.
Oh,
It's the Song of Storms.
Song of Storms, yeah. But
is it? What the heck?
I'm pretty sure it is.
I think it is. It's probably like the prelude to that. But what is?
Oh no, wait.
Yeah, it's that one.
But then once you play it by itself, it's like da-da-da, da-da-da. I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe I'm misremembering. Da-da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da-da.
Sorry, I'm working it out real quick.
It sounds Song of Stormzy to me. Aside from the short version.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is that.
Well, maybe what?
It resolves down.
Yeah.
So it might just be an original thing.
Maybe I could just be remembering wrong.
No, you're remembering right. It is that, because it's like
okay.
And then you just get taken out by the bird. So
yeah. The entire podcast community can now be like, oh, this is how they do their imitation flute noises. Well, before we get too much off track, maybe we should just
SilvaGunner, Ocarina of Time intro theme.
Thank you so much, SilvaGunner, for creating this. This was a real joy to listen to, and actually got me to be reminded of Someone to Call My Lover. I forgot what that song was. I never knew the title of it, so that was kind of cool.
I love Janet Jackson, man.
Good times. And thank you very much to Will Nelson for bringing us this piece of Medli's Melodies.
Thank you.
And we're going to head over to The Bomber's Notebook, the series in which we take a special look at the various and unique characters found in The Legend of Zelda. And keeping with Ocarina of Time, we're going to move from the introduction in Hyrule Field over to Hyrule Castle Town. I am trying to remember the experience way back when, which as of tomorrow would have been something like 29 years ago. Wow. That's a long time. This came out in 98. It's 2026 now, so 28 years ago. And coming into Hyrule Castle Town for the first time, I don't remember if I found the guardhouse and destroyed all of the pots, as we are invited to do there. But coming into the town market proper and just seeing all the hustle and bustle, all of the people, and in all of that, there is one chicken, one cuckoo, and one dog. And we're here to talk about the dog. Because puppies are wonderful.
Richard. That's how I always imagined her screaming her name. Richard.
Richard!
That's funny.
To be fair, we don't actually know that his name is Richard until we bring him home.
I hope Richard gets the biggest glow up in the remake. I want him to be hyper realistic. I want him to have more polygons than Link. I want him to be just a beautiful, beautiful, very good boy.
I'll do you one better. I want to be able to hold him like we do in Twilight.
There it is.
Oh,
Agreed.
yes.
Yes, I said it. I want to hold dogs and cats, damn it.
We couldn't pet the dogs in Tears of the Kingdom. They got to make up for it.
Yep, they got to make up
do.
for that.
They obviously do.
Now's
We
their
need
time.
to love the dogs. They need to actually put cats in the game for us to love them. And maybe not have it so the Cuckoos murder us. That would be nice.
No, that's got
would
to stay.
like to
That's a
avoid that.
staple. That's a staple.
Having cats is another reason why Echoes of Wisdom is so peak.
But there was cats in Twilight, though. There was a lot.
There are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole set of quests involving cats.
Yeah.
Giovanni's cat too.
Yeah. I love
That
being
cat.
able to pick up the animals though in that game. That's one of the reasons I love Twilight so much. You just come here, little
Playing
guy.
fetch in Twilight Princess was amazing.
Yep.
Let's play catch with Richard.
Yep. They got to put something like that in there.
One of the fun things about The Legend of Zelda, which they definitely brought into more obvious, this is what you're supposed to do with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, etc. But something that they really used to do back in the day, old man, back in my day, it used to be that you were rewarded for interacting with everything around you. None of this hand-holding quest markers. You just talk with the thing and you got something to happen.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the cool thing with Richard, is you just, oh, happy puppy. It's great. There's a dog. That's so cute. There's this little kid running around too. That's fun. And there's this large-ish woman. My dog is the best dog. Of course he is. We will not argue that point, madam. And that's really it. There's no indication that he runs out at night or anything. But if you just happen to come back at night, suddenly there's dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
And you don't know that Richard is out and about unless you are going into the alleyway and checking doors and there's the woman and there's no dog. Where's the dog?
Yeah.
You could probably argue that it's maybe a few more steps than we necessarily need to have. But it's one of those things that rewards you for both interacting with everybody and exploring everywhere that you can go.
And being nosy.
What is an RPG hero if not nosy?
Yeah. Because you definitely walking into the house at night. Like, who invited this guy in here?
That's less nosy. That's eking into invasion of privacy.
Just walking
Look,
in
we
the house.
had an entire thing last episode about the crimes Link has committed. He is definitely guilty of breaking and entering. We don't need to go down that hole again.
That's funny.
Very fun side quest. I really, I don't know if they're going to add more, and we'll save that discussion for later, I guess. But I really think that side quests can be some of the most memorable parts of any video game. They really inject life and character into them. So, anything to make you do interactions you don't normally do, such as pick up dogs. I mean, maybe some of us do pick up dogs a lot already, unprompted. But this spotlight is it's nice to remember a very fun little side activity.
That actually brings up an interesting question. What makes a good side quest? I have tried to get into MMOs, for example, and at least for that introductory section, I have never been able to get past the introductory section of really any MMO. It's apparently I'm just not built for MMOs, but it seems like all of those introductory little quests are the kinds of things that you get with a side quest. Go collect this number of hides. Go get this potion from the next town. And they don't really do much. They don't do anything for you, I guess, except to maybe show you how collecting and hunting works in an MMO. And there are similar things in Zelda, of course, where we just have these random people asking Link to do these random things. What makes a side quest good?
Wow. I'm gonna really try to like Twitter this response because I will be here a long time. So I will say it like this, as someone that's been doing this for a long time. They have to do one of two things, at least one of two things. It has to draw you in. It has to compel you to want to do it. If it can't compel you to do it, it has to have some type of reward or like incentive that like, okay, if I go do this, I'll probably get something really good. And I say that because there are those of us who play Zelda. I'm one of the ones that we try to embody who Link is and how he is, because he's a link to the game or whatever. So when a hero sees someone in danger or need trouble, they help. That's what's, at least for me, made like side quests compelling, especially in Zelda games, because it's like Link would help somebody. He it's just how he is. And the other thing that makes it even better is when, or at least if you don't like doing it, it'll make it better, is when you get done, at least with some of the older games, with a side quest, you got something really good at the end, maybe a heart piece or some type of like, gadget that like, wow, like this, I wouldn't even have gotten this if I didn't go, do this quest, or it wouldn't have helped me, upgraded something I already have. And I think that's what really makes side quests good. It's gotten more nuanced lately because now some of the newer games, like side quests, have whole stories to them that like you go and do them. You're like, wow, I forgot I was playing Batman. Like, I was actually doing detective work. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, and it still leans toward the compelling side. But one thing I don't like, and I'm sure Jared will probably, all you guys will probably agree, but definitely Jared, is I love, like, especially the newer Zeldas. I'll stick it more to Zelda, but I don't like doing side quests that aren't compelling or don't pull you in or hold your attention. And then you go and do it and you get done and you get like, not even rupees, like 5 ingredients to cook, like 3 mushrooms.
Yeah.
Like, I could have picked this. I could have literally went and picked that. Why are you giving me 5 Hylian mushrooms? Like, stuff like that I don't like.
So golden poop does not qualify.
Connor, please don't get me started on that again. Oh, I've done that 3 times in Breath of the Wild alone. I hate it. Every minute of it. I hate every minute of it.
I hope I never repeat this phrase, but in defense of golden poop, that is a very memorable reward. It's a very memorable reward that sticks in your mind. The fact that you brought it up and you all had a visceral reaction to it means you know what that's from. I just finished a book by Jason Schreier called Blood, Sweat, and Pickles. Pickles, that'd be a really funny book. Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. And in it, he talks about The Witcher 3's design for side quests. I've not played The Witcher 3. Full disclosure, have not played that game. But I've heard it's good, and I've heard that every side quest leads to some kind of twist, leads to something unexpected. And to the point where they drafted tons and tons of side quests and then cut like half of them just to make sure they had the best of the best, the cream of the crop. And so I think for Zelda, it's the ones we remember. It's the ones that have something unexpected or memorable or a really cool reward. And Connor, I think you recently got the Cremia hug. The Cremia hug is super memorable, right? Like, that's something we all still remember from that game.
That is one of my favorite side quests in all of Zelda. That ranch. That is one of my favorites.
Case and point.
Remember, Majora's Mask is built on side quests. It is side quests the game.
And that's why it's amazing. And that's what I mean, because they knew they didn't have as much of a game as they would have with Ocarina, but they did the side quests in such a compelling way. Bomber's Notebook, which we're on, coincidentally now, But what I'm saying is, it pulls you in so much you don't even realize you're doing side quests. You don't like literally. That's all. Bomber's Notebook is all side quests, literally. But it's so compelling, and it just pulls you in so much. Sometimes you even get a reward. You're like, okay, but the side quest was so fun, and the story to it was so great. You're just like, okay, yeah, it still was a great time. I don't care. You know what I mean?
I was gonna bring up like Majora's Mask is like built on side quests. Like every time I play the game, like I'm not like a 100% completion kind of guy, but every time I play Majora's Mask, I have to get all the masks. I have to get the full mask.
I always get 100% there. Yep.
Yeah,
same.
that has to happen. And I can't think of a single mask that isn't tied to like some sort of memorable like quest, mini game, cutscene. Like even the stone mask, you get it from that injured soldier in Icona Valley or Pirate Fortress in the 3DS version. But like there's a story there. There's like an interesting character tied to that. The captain's hat with Captain Kita, the Bremen mask with the chicks turning into cuckoos. Like there's always something, and it's like the perfect example of like compelling side quests tied to memorable characters or events or cutscenes or mini games or whatever. It's like Majora's Mask is my number one Zelda game for many reasons.
I don't care if Anuma thinks it's a failure. To me, it was one of the best Zelda games they ever made.
Here's hoping it becomes the next big remake. We'll see.
I need it now. I need it now.
There is something to try and make sure we're not spending forever in this notebook. That kind of progression and that kind of connection between what happened before and what happens afterward. Something that is mentioned here in the Bomber's Notebook, something that Aaron brings up, is in the future, the old woman, the woman still remembers Richard. But Richard isn't there.
Yeah, Richard's gone.
Richard's dead. So either he became an old puppy, which happens, or maybe he was lost during Ganon's invasion.
Or maybe he becomes a Wolfos.
Oh, don't you dare. Whoa. He's a good boy. How dare you?
Hey, listen, when adults get lost in the woods, they become what? Stalfos.
So
when adult dogs get lost in the lost woods, they become Wolfos.
But he was never in the Lost Woods. They went from Castletown to Kakariko.
It's not that far. Maybe he ventured out and got lost in the woods.
Why are you bringing this sadness into my life? I was already mourning Richard's death. Now you're making him a monster that I have to kill. It's old Yeller all over again.
I'm thinking about it. Like, do we even see Wolfos as kids?
Yes, there are Wolfos as kids.
Yeah.
We just see more when we get older, right? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Richard becomes Wolfos. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
How dare you? We are going to leave Richard in the past where he is just a good boy going out and hanging out with his puppy friends.
He was always leaving the house, running away, exploring. He explored the Lost Woods and met his tribe.
Stop it. Thank you, Aaron Talon, for opening up to this page of the Bomber's Notebook. My gosh. And now, moving from the depressing to more of the depressing, we're going to head over to Yuga's Art Gallery, the series in which we highlight some of our favorite artwork from the Legend of Zelda community. And today, we are looking at a piece by EliottSontot, who brings us a piece titled simply Forest Temple. The lighting in this piece is exactly the kind of stuff that I expect, honestly, when coming across an ancient ruin. Something that we're about to go and explore. It's obviously ancient. It's covered in vines and stuff. It is clear that no one has been here in a really, really long time. That's the that's the kind of exploration that we get in Zelda, and I absolutely love the environmental work done here.
Really lovely, really pretty. One of those ones where you want it framed on the wall. Just fantastic art, really great vibes, really great composition, for sure.
This is like a depiction of sort of my ideal like forest dungeon, like Zelda forest dungeon. And I believe this is like a depiction of the first room where you fight those two Wolfos. It's like yeah, as Connor said, the lighting is great. I love the foliage. One of my biggest, I don't want to talk about like gripes and negatives about Ocarina of Time yet. We'll get to that later. But the Forest
There
Temple.
are no gripes.
Oh, trust me, we'll get there.
It's the internet. You can always find something to gripe about.
The Forest Temple, great dungeon design, but I wish it was a bit more foresty. And there's a couple rooms here and there, but you know this makes me like really hopeful for maybe somewhat of a glow up for the remake. I would like to see more green. And this is a really beautiful. I also love the shape language of like the leaves especially. Very, very nice stuff here.
I think it's perfect. It really sets the tone for probably how Link feels and everything that's going on, you know, especially if this is after him, you know, saving the temple and, you know, helping Sari discover she's a sage. But I also think it helps really convey the feeling he feels that he just got finished slaying Richard in his Wolfos form.
I knew that was coming.
Good freaking grief.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
Stop
Look at him.
it.
Just look at him. He's sitting there. He's like, gosh.
Yeah, Richard, man.
But I mean, honestly, listen, Forest Temple is one of my favorite temples in all of Zelda, let alone this game. First of all, that theme that's one of the best. That's a chef's kiss right there. That Forest Temple theme, when you first go there, it just pulls you in so hard, man. I love that whole temple, the spookiness, the twisted puzzles, you know, the sisters. I love all of it. I mean, I know you said you wanted more forest. I feel like it's perfect. I feel like it's eerie. It's in a creepy part of the forest, and it conveys that very well. That whole just the whole mysticism behind that whole temple, like really, it's still one of my favorite temples in all of Zelda, let alone in this game. I'm sorry, like I don't even know what really would rival it in this game for me, other than maybe like the Shadow Temple a little bit.
The music is iconic. I mean, you can't.
The music's iconic.
Like,
I've heard the music
eerie...
in TikTok videos where they're cooking.
Oh yeah.
It's like my wife's sitting there watching.
I don't think hang on. I do not want Forest Temple. No, I do not want Forest Temple music in my cooking videos. You're gonna make me think my bacon is haunted.
Listen, I thought my wife was like watching someone play Ocarina the other day, and I was like, "Yo, that's the Forest Temple. Who are you watching?" She's watching some like TikTok video. They're like doing recipes or something or talking. I don't know what it was, and I was like, "Yeah." So, they know what it is.
Zelda has infested the culture. We have made
yes. I hear Zelda themes and all types of stuff.
What kind of dish would be well accompanied by the Forest Temple theme?
A witch's brew.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like a cauldron.
You're basically injecting haunted ghost sisters into whatever it is that you're cooking.
Listen, he has the bottles. You know what I mean? He has the bottles. You know. I would think like if at the worst like a pumpkin soup or something, which you know we get in Zelda. So
no. That's what the lumpy pumpkin is for.
Yeah.
You keep the lumpy pumpkin out of your ghost shenanigans.
Well, remember before we had lumpy pumpkin, we had the Yetis.
Yeto's soup.
Yeah, that soup sounded like it was delicious.
Oh my gosh!
I'm
thinking about it now. I wanted to make that for myself. You know what? I might mess around and make some Yeto soup.
Pumpkin soup is pretty good. I have had it.
Yeah.
It's good
and
stuff.
wait, hold up. Sorry. Before that, we had grandma's soup, didn't we? Didn't it have pumpkin in it? Oh no, we didn't.
We don't know if it had pumpkin or not.
It was just broth, for all we know.
That still looked good. I'm sorry. Like any
stuff.
one of those would do for For the
Look,
forest
if it
temple.
gives you full health and full magic, like consistent for a while, and invulnerability for a bit, that's good soup. That is some hearty soup.
Humory, what game is it we can drink the pose? Is it this game?
It's Ocarina of Time, yes.
Okay, yeah. So, just get some pumpkin soup.
I hate it. I hate everything about that. Stop it.
Get a little. All right, I'm sorry. I'm stopping.
Something that is really fun about art interpretation is how much you can put your own spin on things. Because Ellie Appleby, who writes this article, titles it "The Dark Cost of a Youthful Mistake." She draws attention to the fact that Link is not smiling. He is very stoic in this piece, and she draws connections to the not so pleasant reception Link has to the world of 7 years in the future. And the fact that she calls it a youthful mistake is, in fact, one of the craziest things that I remember realizing not all that long ago. The fact that the entirety of the adult timeline never needed to happen if Link and Zelda had just been willing to leave it alone. If they had done nothing, nothing would have happened. There is no way Ganondorf could have gotten in there. He never would have gotten anywhere near the Triforce, much less the Triforce of Power. None of the adult timeline would have happened. It's all their fault.
Because Link got the Ocarina of Time and opened the door.
Yeah, but that's all retconned by her sending him back in time. So when he goes to tell her this time, they don't do it.
Yes, but that doesn't change the fact that sitting outside the Forest Temple, Link has to come to grips with the fact that none of his friends recognize him. His childhood crush is completely out of his life at this point. He has no idea what anything is going on. And he doesn't know that he's going to reset everything. And that it doesn't matter. If they had done nothing, even if Ganondorf had been able to Shanghai or strong arm all of the people from giving him the spiritual stones, the ocarina, the Song of Time, only Link can pull that sword. If they had left it alone, if they had done nothing, adult timeline never happens. Ganondorf never gets the Triforce of Power. It is all their fault. And that is a crushing reality to realize.
I never even thought about that.
You,
Link, caused this.
That's one thing I would say. I hope they kind of do a little better if they can in the remake is conveying Link's emotions, maybe just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because you're right, like this piece shows more of that side of him. However, when you play the game, you kind of almost don't know what he's feeling or if he's really feeling regret as far as just maybe, okay, wow, this is different. One thing I will say, that's why I love the manga. They express that more. I don't know if anybody's ever read the manga. I won't ruin it because it's great.
Okay.
You should go read it. But they have a chapter in there where he has to fight Volvagia, and then they explain like it's hard for him to do.
That made no sense to me, honestly.
What happened?
I will say that particular plot point made no sense to me. We're just gonna throw in that Link was friends with a baby dragon.
But that's what I'm saying. Like
I don't know. It was kind of weird to me.
But that was their way of giving him the remorse of like things are different now, and I don't really want to do this. You know what I mean? Okay, yeah, Baby Dragon, I hear what you're saying, but like that was a way of giving Link an emotion, like how she's done in this painting, you know. And I wish they could find a way to do that in the game, because I mean I know Link's always supposed to like be our interpretation of blah blah blah, but it'd be nice if we get to see some things from him. Like I like it in games where we get to see some type of like emotion of Link, you know, maybe even doubting himself, like in Twilight Princess, like when they're like, oh, you're gonna go fix the Gorons and blah blah blah, right? And he kind of looks off and looks up to the mountain like, geez.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like something like
What
that.
am I supposed to do about that?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's just like, yeah, I like that, you know.
Please talk more positively. Please talk more positively about Twilight Princess Link. I love that guy so much. I love TP Link. He's my glorious Link. I love him so much.
I think anytime we see some emotion out of Link, it's generally received really well. Like despite Nintendo really wanting him to be a self-insert for a lot of players, like Wind Waker Link, Skyward Sword Link, whenever they get him to emote more and be expressive, like people love it. And we had a discussion about this 6 or 7 months ago about should Link ever speak, and yeah, I don't know. I look at this piece, I look at those examples you said, and it's only a good thing when we get to see more of him as a character.
And I think a lot of the times, and maybe I had mentioned this in the last time we talked about Link as a character. I think a lot of times people sort of overblow what self-insert, like, I guess, means. And I think you're able to have Link actually be a character with reactions and relationships and interactions, and still be a Link to the player, because he's still seeing the world for the first time, just like you are, reacting to things for the first time, that kind of stuff. It's not going to always be this. Obviously, it can't always be the same. Like, you're not going to always be linked with what his reactions are going to be in game as a character, but like there is still that exploration, discovery. You're not playing as this, like you're not playing as Rauru, like who knows everything apparently. You're playing as this kid from the woods who's exploring the world for the first time, and that's the same thing as the player. So I think yeah, as you said, it's only beneficial to let Link actually be a character and not blank face the entire time, neutral emotion.
Yeah.
There is a lengthy discussion, I think, to be had on that end, and I'm not prepped for it, so I'm not going to dip my toes in it, unfortunately.
That's all right.
You make some solid points, and perhaps that is something that we'll be getting into a discussion in just a couple of minutes. But for the moment, let me thank our wonderful artist here, EliottSontot, for painting this wonderful piece. Thank you so much to Ellie Appleby for bringing us this piece of Yuga's art gallery.
Very awesome.
And so let us come now to the feature of the month. Jared, this is a somewhat new practice, I know, that the features team is now doing with composite pieces, which is really fun.
That is correct.
Do you guys get together and like brainstorm all the different kind of stuff that you want to do, or does everybody just kind of independently bring in their own lists of stuff?
This is Jeffrey's idea. Some sites do this where different article writers get to kind of put their own take on something, and then we just compile them together. So there's no collaboration here other than all adding to the same Google Doc or WordPress doc here. Every take you see is wholly belongs to the person writing it. But it is something I really love doing because it's so fun to see everyone's different opinions. So if you liked this article, I can take 1/4 of the credit, I think.
Yeah, I remember we did that for the 40th. That was fun. I really enjoyed that.
We had a ton of fun coming up with that list. It was a very involved process, which you can listen to that episode as well. With Ocarina of Time coming out in approximately 3 months and 2 days as of this recording,
Presumably.
it is the perfect opportunity to discuss what we want to have in this game. We spent a bit of time talking about this on last episode's podcast, but we have 3 new people here. And of course, we're going to be milking this for all it's worth, like every other content creator out there.
Heck yeah.
So,
it's for the fans. It's what the fans came to see.
Exactly.
yes, of course. We'll milk that algorithm. So, we want to discuss, and that's the subject of the article here, of changes and additions we would love to see in the Ocarina of Time remake. We have no idea if this is going to be just a straight remastering, We don't know if this is going to be a from the ground up Final Fantasy VII remake, reimagining. If I were to place my bet, it's probably going to be more of the former and less of the latter.
Same.
But we can dream. And so let us dream. We have a lot here to discuss. I want to make sure, because the items here are all listed from our features team. Jason and Cayden, I want to make sure that the two of you get the opportunity to put in at least one thing that you would like to see in the remake. Don't give me your full list, because I know we all have our major lists.
I'll put it away.
It's late for all of us, and we still have a whole features article to get to. But if you have something like right at the top of your mind, this is the number one thing on my list.
All right.
Let us have it.
So I am fresh off of a replay of Ocarina of Time. My biggest thing after replaying the game is I really would like to see some more attention to detail in terms of, you know, the storytelling and the writing. In Ocarina of Time, you know, I assume it was very intentional for the game to feel like very video gamey and very, you know, cartoonish in some of its writing choices. But I think if we were to apply it to a modern lens, I would like to see some more depth in terms of specifically characters and as well as, you know, events, context, that kind of stuff. After replaying the game, I feel like the story is very hard carried by Sheik. Love the Sheik scenes, probably my favorite parts of the entire game. For the rest of the characters, rest of the cast, like Darunia, like Impa, we're really relying on context. I mean, yeah, but like assumptions, really, especially with Impa. And I feel like the sages take the biggest hit in this regard, because I have no connection with Impa. We see her when she gives us Zelda's lullaby, and we see her in the Chamber of Sages. We see her escaping the castle with Zelda, but there's no interaction happening there. And I really want to care about the sages, but there's not really any substance to them, to most of them. Saria, great. I think Saria is great. She's built up. She has a pre-established relationship with Link. That's great. Noboru gets a pass because she's last sage, and even then, Spirit Temple arc of the game is probably my favorite part of the game. And I think for the part of the game she's in, she's fleshed out well enough. Everyone else gets the short end of the stick, in my opinion. And I think it would be really good to see just more attention to detail in terms of storytelling, you know, fleshing out scenes, showing context. What are Impa and Zelda doing in the 7 years? Like, is she training Sheik? Is she training Zelda as Sheik? We don't know, we assume, but I would like to see something like that. There is obviously the benefit of show, don't tell, but in my opinion, I think nothing is really lost if we show some of this stuff. Show the sages doing things. Are the sages dead? Maybe. Darunia probably is, but is Ruto dead? Like, there's a lot of assumptions we have to make and a lot of gaps we have to fill ourselves. And I think if we explain this stuff, if you show this stuff, nothing's really lost, and I think more is gained. Yeah, that's it. TLDR, you know, let's flesh the game out. Let's evolve and flesh out the very video gamey. You're the hero. Do this and then this and then this and then save the day, like that kind of stuff.
You are not wrong. I do not think that you're wrong in the slightest. That is not a hot take in any regards. When I was doing my Zelda storytelling for Ocarina of Time, plug, YouTube channel, plug. The major thing that I added as I was trying to expand Ocarina of Time's story was, let's give Link more opportunities to interact with the people that he is saving, and especially the sages. That is both as a child, to be introduced to the sage, really get to know their personalities, spend some time with them, and as a sage, instead of seeing them really briefly and then, oh, we have to go do the dungeon without them, whatever, have them involved. Show us that they have these sage powers instead of just saying, oh, I am a sage now, have a coin.
And the biggest part with that specific point is after and I just beat the game, so this is fresh in my mind. After you beat the water temple, You pop up on top of Lake Hylia. Sheik's there. She's like, thanks to you and Ruto defeating the evil in the temple. I'm like, who? What did Ruto even do? Where did she go?
Yeah.
So that's Exhibit A. And when you walk into Kakariko Village, Impa says, or Sheik says, by the way, Impa is the sage of the Shadow Temple. Thanks, I guess. Where is she? So like it's that kind of
How
stuff.
do you know?
Right. Maybe,
I thought we were supposed to be awakening sages. Weren't they supposed to not know? How do they know?
And so that, and like you said, and that's something I've been rehearsing this, by the way, for like the past week, just trying to figure out how I'm going to get these thoughts out of my head. So pardon me if I'm rambling. But yeah, just like let us experience the sages. Let them have screen time. Maybe if you go into the menu, click on the fire medallion, Spirit of Darunia pops up and talks about the current events of the game. Something like that. Just like let us see the sages, let us experience the sages, let us build that relationship with them. Let them be characters.
Yeah. On top of all that, honestly, that is a great idea. I agree. I agree too. The main one they should do, because it really fits the tone perfectly and it'll set it up for even in the end and even for the next game, is they need to build up his relationship with Navi like that. He should have a relationship with Navi like he has a relationship with Midna in Twilight Princess. That'll
Agreed, yeah.
help flesh out a lot too, because a lot of those moments, like I heard you say, like it felt like what'd you say? It felt like I don't want to say like the narrative felt empty. I didn't really feel like that because I felt like Navi was with me. So, it was kind of like she was helping me to, oh, hey, we should go do this and blah, blah, blah. But like you said, they need to elaborate on that more. Show him and Navi having an experience together. Show Navi being more like, into to the story and what's happening. I mean, because they kind of do, but they kind of don't. But like or at least give it like the same like, steps forward like how they did with Tattle. You know what I mean? Like you came out of Majora's Mask really caring for Tattle the way you should have been caring for Navi, and I feel like they should do more of that, especially because we know for a fact that Navi's going to become an important thing at the end, especially, and in the whole reason for Link even traveling to Termina in Majora. So I feel like they should do that too. Then that way the game won't feel narratively flat like you said. But also too, I understood the time. They probably didn't have time to do all those cutscenes and extras.
Yeah.
So but
and
I like that idea. Yeah.
I've whenever I look at games, this is very much a me thing. I take them out of the context of when they were released, because I personally just don't like reviewing things. I'm doing air quotes for people that are listening. I don't like reviewing things in terms of legacy. I like taking them out of that context and just looking at it as it is here now. And I can look back and say like, okay, yes, I can understand. It's intentional. It's meant to be very like hammed up, played straight, cartoony dialogue. I get that. I can very much understand that.
You know what's crazy too? Like I hear you say that, and it's funny because like at that time when Ocarina came out, it was the most story driven Zelda. Like Link to the Past had a good chunk of like story in the beginning, right before you start, and in certain parts. But like Ocarina was like the first time that it had more of a like story driven like.
Link's Awakening.
Well, besides Link's Awakening, what I'm saying is like Link's Awakening didn't even have like cut scenes like how Ocarina was trying to do. So I'm wondering if like maybe they're trying to course correct now, because like look at that little trailer that we got for Ocarina. Like it almost seems like they're really trying to make the story more of a thing. Like they got the old dude explaining stuff. Like So I'm wondering if they will if that's what they're leaning toward, which would be cool to see, because Ocarina is one of the best stories that they've done.
I would not call the narrative flat. I would call it truncated.
Yeah.
This is where you have to take technological limitations into an account. One of the reasons why they had to do the plot as they did was because they had but so much memory to work with, and so that's what you do in order to make things. Obviously, that means that there's plenty more that they could do with what they have now, but that's what they had then. Cayden, sorry, Jason, I want to make sure was that your top
that was
thing
his.
that you wanted there? Okay, that's just part of yours.
Connor's heard this before, and I think Cayden, you heard it too. What I really want is Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild's world/game engine. If I can get that in any form, I'm okay. It don't have to be the whole full Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom map, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't have to be that big. but I want what they were trying to do with it when it was Zelda 64. I don't know if you've seen like the bits and pieces, but like for example, Hyrule Castle Town was setting up to be more of an actual town. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't supposed to be like the 3 hallways, and they were trying to make an actual town. Like I would like to see an actual, for once in a long time, an actual Hyrule Castle town. I don't even care if it's extra alleyways, whatever. Just make it more lively. If I can get that, make the world feel more vibrant for a newer game. I'm saying that, but also when they gave us Ocarina of Time 3DS, I feel like that game was perfect. So unless you're just giving us Ocarina of Time 3DS for the Switch 2, if you're gonna do something new, do something better. Make it a little bigger. Just, it don't have to be huge, because I mean, you can make it like maybe a little smaller than Skyrim or something, because Skyrim's smaller than Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean? So, just make it feel like you put some thought into it. Because other than that, I would have just taken Ocarina of Time 3DS and called it a day, but apparently they didn't want to do that.
Listen, I'm with you. Like, it's for us fans. Not everyone has played Ocarina multiple times, but people in the Zelda universe community have, and you can love a game as much as you want, but like to experience it in a new way would be really appreciated. I don't personally think that's what's going to happen, unfortunately, but I would prefer that too. I would really love a reimagining, and I know people would complain about, oh, not another Breath of the Wild or whatever, but forget them. Like, it would be great. It would be awesome to do the dungeons in any order, do it with a bigger scale and scope. I think that's a great idea, and I would love that.
I mean, I just look at what they've done for Final Fantasy VII, and I'm like, I know I'm not getting that, but at least something. And who's complaining about Final Fantasy VII Remake? Really?
I know one person that was just like, no, this is not for me.
And then he doesn't have to buy it, or she doesn't have to buy it, but we'll buy it.
I bought it. I'm waiting for the last one.
Exactly. They did that in 3 games. 3 games. I'm not even asking for 3 games, Nintendo. Just give me one full Breath of the Wild Ocarina experience and I'm good.
Well, I will say that a couple of things that we have talked about so far already play into what is taken in here in our article. So I'm glad that both of your top of the list are shared by some of our features writers.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they also said they want Zora's Domain unfrozen. I'm with that 1000%.
The fun thing about having Zora's Domain unfrozen is that I think it speaks to a larger thing that we only get tidbits of, at least in the beginning, with the Kokiri Forest and Death Mountain, where we see post dungeon what is going on. It's, you want to see good come from your efforts. Because what happens after the Shadow Temple, really? It stops raining. That's it. It stops raining in the middle of Kakariko Village. That one specific town square in Kakariko. That's it. What happens after the Spirit Temple? Nothing. Life just goes on.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things that you want to see from your efforts. You want to see a positive result from what is going on. Zora's Domain is just the big obvious one. Zora's Domain should melt soon. Define soon. Tomorrow? Next year?
You think that's why they retconned that in Twilight and let us free him? I always wondered that.
To be fair, Twilight Princess was very much Ocarina of Time on steroids.
It really was, though. Because you free them immediately. Oh, gosh.
Quick aside, is it ever explained why it's frozen in Twilight Princess?
It's mostly just Zant being a jerk.
But like how, though?
No, they don't say how.
Oh.
Shadow magic.
Yeah.
What else do you need?
They just pull the cold from Snow Peak, Snowhead.
If there is one thing that I have learned from being a DM, the automatic catch-all for anything that you don't want to explain, a wizard did it.
I mean, I guess you could say his theory was stem the flow to Lake Hylia so they can't reach the
Temple.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
Or-
But what's Linnea gonna do?
Yeah.
Hiss at it?
fix everything, right? I guess it was just his way
How?
of slowing us down. I don't know. I'm trying to give a reason. I don't know.
hearing both Cayden and Jason kind of give their takes, actually, and Connor, I guess we need you to go as well. You're proving why this kind of article needed to be collaborative. There are things that I can't come up with that other people with nuanced opinions and different experiences absolutely can. So for me, and mine ended up being at the top of the article, I'm a practical person. I'm someone who will give a hot take on something and then follow it up with, but on the other hand, I'm someone like, hey, I hate that Nintendo does this, but from a business standpoint, it makes sense. So for me, instead of, while I would love a reimagining, I would love something completely different, it makes the most sense for the game to be very close to the source material. The dungeon design has aged very well. The moments throughout the game, it's iconic. And so, from that perspective, my wish list, because I always temper my expectations, my wish list has to do with quality of life. So if you read the article, I kind of go into specifics, but just in general, I want a free camera. I want to jump. It wouldn't ruin the game. It would not break the game to have a manual jump button. I want to have a weapon wheel. I'd love for the goddess powers to be like the champion powers in Breath of the Wild, in that they trigger automatically or with a button press rather than having to map it to an item thing. I want to sprint. Maisie also included that. She wants sprinting in the game too, a little later in this article. So that's all. I want to feel good playing the game. The whispers, the things we've heard, the descriptions that have leaked seem to imply that this game will be a pretty straightforward reimagining. Again, we don't know for sure. We'll wait for the full reveal. So if that's the case, I just want it to feel really good. Whenever people talk about the 3DS remake, they talk about the gyro aiming and the iron boots being equipable, So I want to remember this game for it being just smooth as butter. So, yeah.
I think we had free camera in 3DS too. If not, we definitely had it from Majora. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll have that. That'd be silly not to have it. I feel like I'm playing an old Resident Evil.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my list.
I am with you, Jared. The odds of it being a reimagining are very, very slim. This feels very much like what they did with the Star Fox situation.
100%. Yeah.
Just a sudden, oh, by the way, since we have this thing with this movie, here's the game. It looks pretty.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So then what would be the wait for that's what I'm trying to like. I agree with you guys, but I'm also kind of like, the wait is what's got me paused, because
it's the holiday season.
Why do all this? Yeah, but why do all this waiting if you're just going to give it Star Fox 64?
It might be Grezzo who just did Echoes, so it would make sense if it took a couple years, because they just finished Echoes and then they started Echoes of Wisdom and then started immediately on this.
But see, the thing is, it's the tease for me, right? Okay, so like when Star Fox 64 was rumored, they just dropped it the next day. Oh, here it is. It's coming out in blah blah blah. It's a 1-to-1. But for this, they're trying to say like the hype is there, and it was fueled, and then they released the trailer. So now, and they haven't talked about it since or anything. So now everybody's imaginations are running wild. Whereas when they gave us the 1-to-1 remake with Star Fox, they literally just next day, here you go, it'll be out soon, and we'll talk about it then. So it's kind of like, I think that's where it comes from with us and what we want so much, because it's like Schrodinger's cat. Like, they haven't said it isn't anything new, but they also haven't said it is. And it's kind of like, I wish it's something new, because if you're doing all this just to hype me up for a 1-to-1, like, okay, thank you, but that was unnecessary.
I would caution against using Star Fox as your comparative point here, because at least in Nintendo's eyes, Star Fox is a relatively dead franchise. That's entirely on them. They're the ones that haven't done anything with it for the most part. But that is a deadish franchise that isn't going to benefit from a whole lot of initial hype, while The Legend of Zelda is an actively running thing with a game dropping every single year.
Well, and also Ocarina is one of the highest ranked games of all time, so they know it'll sell. It has the prestige, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm with you. I hated waiting for Tears, for years and years and years. I was let down by tears because of expectation. But
Just show me, man. Just show me what we're working with. Like, if it's gonna be 1-to-1, just say that. I don't need this level of hype for 1-to-1. I need this level of hype because you're about to give me something maybe somewhat remotely similar to Final Fantasy VII and what they're doing.
But Jason, the problem is you are blaming the internet for hype and you're attributing that blame to Nintendo's fault. Nintendo isn't responsible for that hype. That's the internet being the internet.
But Nintendo's also of the newer mindset of like how things work and how hype and everything is built. They have a marketing team. These people know trends. Even Shintaro Furukawa does things now because he knows what'll work. So it's kind of like I'm not really holding to it, but it's also kind of like they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, you had Star Fox. Did everybody see the Super Mario Galaxy movie before I say this?
Yeah.
You had Star Fox. Come on, you know what you're doing. We're not just doing things. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't even need to see the movie to know that Star Fox was in it. They threw it in our faces.
yeah, Nintendo spoiled it before the movie even came out.
But that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, so why are we over here with Link? Like, oh look, he. Oh, close your eyes.
No,
you know what I mean?
understand.
Like, we know a movie's coming out. We know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how I feel. But again,
expectations are important, and I think it's totally valid to not love that. But
I know I gotta hype responsibly, but it's
hey, we're gonna know soon. We're gonna know very, very soon. Hey, Connor, tell me what's the top of your wish list. I still haven't heard it.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
The top of my wish list is on par with what Cayden had said, so I don't need to
with the narrative
go much further into it. I do want to highlight what Chelsea had put in regards to a deeper look at the Gerudo.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because we're old enough, we know the assertions of sexism and the like that kind of revolve around the original idea involving the Gerudo and Ganondorf's by law role in that ecosystem. There's no way to really explain it without getting into some very awkward territory because it is unusual that we are a completely female-dominated society by sheer genetics. Oh, here's this one unique person, a guy, he's king now.
I think that'll also play into what Cayden was saying. If they do the backstories and lore on the characters, then we can see that with him. Because we also need to see more from Nabooru. Like, and why she's, doing what she was doing when you meet her as a kid. And, because it seemed like she was trying to get into mischief back then, against whatever Ganondorf had already set. Then they just end up using her.
And then if I want to get into something that's a little bit more of a realistic expectation, I would probably point to how empty Hyrule Field is. If there's one thing that really needs an upgrade, Hyrule Field is empty. There is no reason to do anything in there except hunt down ghosts. And it's like, wait, I thought this place was overrun by Ganondorf. Why does everything seem even better than it did as a child?
You know what else I would love? And this is the for all us Z-Link fans out there. Sorry, don't care. Don't care. I want more of a relationship between Link and Zelda built up from the kids so that at least maybe when they part, maybe there could be like a holding of hand. I mean, they kind of did, but like a hug, maybe a warm kiss on the cheek or something before he leaves. Something, you know what I mean?
Not gonna happen, but I'd love that. I would
listen.
Love that.
He got a little hug or something in Zelda 2. We can dream, okay? Like,
just Skyward Sword. Someone was like, "Hey, listen, they don't kiss, man, but hey, they do hold hands. It'll be all right." So every little thing helps.
I'm just curious because, like, now, right, for all those people that don't want it to happen, I wonder what the narrative will be in the movie. Will they have that type of relationship?
That's a whole different discussion.
Hard to say.
But that's a movie, though. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it is Hollywood.
Like, it's not going to happen.
Are they going to be brother and sister? Like, that's going to be...
That'd be wild. That'd be a wild take. I doubt it.
Oh, gosh.
Even if we don't get a shipping situation like you were pandering for there, Jason, Going back to the discussion that we just had in Yuga's art gallery, the fact that, one, Link and Zelda caused this to happen, which is crazy to think about, but logic dictates that that's exactly what happened. And second, the reason why Zelda sent Link back in the first place. Where you're supposed to be, the way you're supposed to be. What is that supposed to be actually supposed to be? The concept of losing one's childhood. Link was robbed of so much and was forced into the situation to be the chosen hero. It's a very heavy subject that unfortunately is never explored. It would be amazing to be able to touch on that core point, because that's what sets everything to zero. That's essentially what causes Navi to leave and sets in motion Majora's Mask. I'm doing the retelling of Majora's Mask right now on my streams, and that's been a constant thing. Link had an identity and a purpose as an adult because he was sent on this quest. This was everything. What does the warrior do when it is time to lay down your arms?
Yeah.
And it's a subject that would be rife with implications and would be amazing to explore the reasoning behind sending Link back.
And I think this is prime time to like show Link's, like, immediately after the final battle with Ganon, he gets sent back by Zelda. They have a tender moment. Link shows emotion. And then he's in the Master Sword chamber. Master Sword gets put away. Navi, I'm assuming they have some sort of interaction in the remake, flies away. And then you see like Link's like where are you going, Navi? And then I would really like to see a lead in, like a Marvel post-credit scene, like a lead in to like showing Link going to find Navi. Like we have that retrospective like context. We can like
I'm
show
not
him.
I'm not mad at that. I like that actually.
I'm sorry, I can't help like someone like Impa or someone walking up to Daruni or something. I'm putting together a team.
Link will appear.
Link
in
will
Avengers Doomsday.
return.
So there's two things I could say. Like, okay, I don't even know if you guys remember this. Back in the day, they had a I don't know when they used to do this. It was like a not graphic novel. It was actually just a little novelization of Ocarina of Time, and I can't remember who wrote it, but I remember reading, and I remember at the end they were trying to say the sages were going to try to kind of find a way to reunite Link and Zelda. And I remember this because this is before Majora's Mask came out, so it's kind of like, you're like, oh yeah, how could that happen? Now we know it can't happen. Whatever, it's done. But I remember in the manga, right? To your point, what you're saying, Cayden, is they show Link training and/or training people right before he goes on his journey in Majora's Mask to find Navi. So that could be something they could show, like, because I mean, we know he gets better and he trains, because the first thing you see him do in Majora's Mask is cartwheels and front flips. And so we know this is a little bit of more of a nuanced Link already. I think that would be cool. Like they show him training or something, like,
and with new
as a
equipment
kid
too, like a new shield and a new sword.
I mean, he gets the shield. Yeah, he gets the shield. He gets the sword. So I think that would be cool.
And playing on the Zelda and Link connection as well, we have the flashback in Majora's Mask where she teaches him the Song of Time. Like, it's a flashback from before he leaves to go find Navi.
Which makes no sense, honestly. Why are you giving Link, who's leaving the country, your nation's heirloom?
The Ocarina of Time.
As well as this super important song that no one's supposed to know. Oh, you're going out into the world? Here. It's a secret to everybody.
So here's the thing, right? I always thought it was implied that when he goes back in time, they tell Zelda what everything that happens. They take Ganondorf, into custody, and they end it there. Because I thought that's what we get told in Twilight Princess.
No one is told anything. Twilight Princess has no relation to Ocarina of Time as far as the narrative is concerned.
That's not true. That's not true at all. We know it takes place afterward. Also, I always thought it was implied that
We know it takes place afterward because Nintendo told us it takes place afterward. There is nothing in the game that says otherwise.
The Hero of Time is name dropped.
Hero of the Time is in it. That is implied.
It's basically in it, yeah. But also too, I always thought it was. This is my interpretation. If anything, fine, whatever. I always thought it was implied when he goes back in time, all that gets stopped. Ganondorf gets apprehended. We see it in Twilight Princess because they banish him to that realm, and that's pretty much what happens to him. You know what I mean? So I kind of like, I don't know. I kind of think that's pretty neat. I kind of also forgot where I was going with this.
I would like to, at some point, I'm going to need to do this. I'm going to need to look over what the Hero Shade does say, because if the phrase Hero of Time is never dropped,
it's not.
We have been making a lot of assumptions as to identities here. Obviously, Nintendo has bought into it because they make references in their official literature, but there's nothing in game. What's the Temple of Time doing in the Lost Woods? That doesn't go there. That's not Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but I mean, honestly, if you even think about it on a layman's term level, like, he shouldn't be called the Hero of Time because technically he isn't in that timeline, but he is that Link, though. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Or is he? That's the thing. This is me being very pedantic. That's all.
Well, I have it in my brain, and I could likely misremembering, but I have it in my brain that like when Link gets the green garb from Pharaon, it's mentioned that it's the Hero of Times. I could be misremembering that.
It's just the garb that is of the hero or whatever.
It's just the garb in Wind Waker is the one from well, actually, even that one's not.
Not even that one. That's just a tradition.
But you know that it takes place after Ocarina because you see Ocarina of Time Link in the palace, a statue of him. So at least you know that much. You know, it's just weird. Nintendo really never thinks this through. That's the sad part.
It is sad that the narrative stuff comes later when they confirmed that the Hero Shade was Hero of Time. That didn't come till like one of the books came out, you know, Hyrule Story.
Yeah.
I did just post a little quote for funsies in the chat where he says, "I accepted life as the hero." Now, obviously, like I said, implied, not necessarily direct.
Yeah.
We get so little lore sometimes from these games, but regardless of how much they imply,
the timeline was a mistake.
We can't do that.
Another
Connor.
discussion.
I know.
Now.
That was
we
last
have to
time.
be the positive ones this time.
It does work as an anthology, doesn't it? But anyway,
I mean, in my mind, like I said, I've always thought of it that way, and I will continue to do so until Nintendo proves me wrong. And even if they do, I don't care.
I'm fine doing it. I just like throwing these kinds of things into the works because it's we always assume this, but does it have to be?
Yeah, but here's what I want to know. I mean, I know we'll know soon enough is whether Nintendo will actually take this seriously now that the movie is slated to come out, and that maybe bring a whole new light to Zelda. You know, because like for example, Link talking is gonna be game changing for many, not for all of us. Because I grew up with a very, very cocky Link, so I've always known him to be a certain way, and then when he wasn't, it was like, oh, okay, he's quiet now. Like, they shut him up immediately. Like, my Link is very cocky. He was bomb jumping and everything, shield surfing and everything, but he was very confident. He was excuse me, princess. Like, he was very confident. Like, oh, they quieted him down a lot.
We were talking about that last month during our brief exchange. Not exchange, but was it last month? I forget. This is the time, if Nintendo is serious about doubling down on the timeline, this is their opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. This is the pivotal game.
To put things in the game that say, if you die, Link, this is going to happen. Either as like a game over cutscene or implications in... like maybe the sages are talking, and what if he fails? Well, then we will have to resort to this or something like that. Will it happen? Probably not, but
that's the thing with wish lists. You know, it's like what I think will happen, what I want to happen, and you know,
because you have that in Majora.
Yeah,
like if you lose, it crashes, and you get blown away.
I am still. This is the perfect time for me to actually get footage of that, and I am so scared to death of doing it.
I know. I've seen it only once in my life.
I think speaking of more narrative in Ocarina, I could see a world where maybe the cutscenes don't have much dialogue still, like they're almost one-to-one, maybe a little updated, but they still will have like diaries that they add to the game. You know what I mean? Things like in Breath of the Wild where you find items and you read up more on lore. I could definitely see a world where they take an opportunity to flesh things out a little bit, just in their usual Nintendo way, where it's not necessarily direct, but those who want to dig can dig.
That would be a lot easier to do.
Although I will say, as much as I love Breath of the Wild, it was very hard for me to understand Daruk having a journal.
It is funny.
What? You think a Goron can't write?
But it's how he did it that made it believable, but it was so funny. Because he's like, they want me to write in these things, and it's like, oh my God. We could have just had cutscenes.
I would have loved it if they swapped that with a model of a rock that he chiseled like pictures into instead or something. That would have been nice.
Oh God.
Hieroglyphics.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Funny.
That'd be sick.
Freaking mural.
We've hit every writer in the article with our discussion today, except for Jeffrey. So I just want to spotlight Jeffrey, who's the one who got this article to happen in the first place. He just straight up wants more challenging boss encounters, and I can't fault him for that. I think we're gonna see cool visuals. Why not increase the spectacle of the game design itself? Very worthy addition to the article. Very cool idea.
Give us a true boss for the ice dungeon.
And also, this is prime time let's have the sages do some stuff in the boss battles.
Exactly.
Why not?
That's what I said.
Apparently, Ruto helped in the Morpha fight. Apparently, news to me.
She was in there somewhere.
I could use some help in the Morpha fight. I hate that fight. It's always a toss-up between Morpha and Twinrova. Which one drives me more up the wall?
As long as it doesn't detach from the fight, I don't want it to be like, you gotta wait till Ruto does this to do that. I don't want that. No more of that.
Sure.
I've had my fill of that.
I want the Dark Link fight to be identical, except I want him to have a voice saying, "You're too slow. Take this, Link." That was a joke.
Why'd you do that?
Because it's funny.
I hate
and it's
it.
late.
Stop it.
But yeah, more challenging boss encounters. That'd be cool. Yeah.
All right.
Well, with
my
that,
final question then for all of you. When do you think we're going to get a direct about all of this?
October 17th.
October 17th, Jason?
I'm going to guess mid-September.
It's September. Yeah, I'm with Jared.
Give me a day.
Before the 15th or around it.
October 15th.
Yeah, I was going to say 15th. September 15th, too. Yeah.
I'm
September
with September.
15th?
Yeah, same.
Okay, so we have 2 September 15th, 1 October 15th. I'm going to say it is going to take place on the 11th of September.
Oddly specific.
What? Just because it's 9/11 doesn't mean it's specific.
I wouldn't see Nintendo doing that, but hey.
It's a Friday.
Hey, Connor, if my prediction is right, you have to include a voice clip from me on your next episode saying, "I was right." Mwahaha! Do we have a deal?
I can't make that promise because it depends on when we are doing our recording for next month's podcast. I said at the end of last month's podcast that we were going to be doing something special for this one, but unfortunately timing didn't work very well. So I can be a little bit more explicit on this one. If you've been paying attention to Zelda Universe, we recently had an amazing opportunity to interview the writer for 2 of the 3 Philips CDI games.
Oh, yeah.
It was an
Very
amazing experience, super insightful, and I cannot believe I can say that my appreciation for those games just shot up.
Nice.
So if you have not seen our interview with Jonathan Merritt, I highly suggest that you hop on over to Zelda Universe and take a look at that interview. And fingers crossed, all things going well, I will be here with both David and Shona to discuss the time that we spent with that interview and our impressions of the CDI as a whole. So, fingers crossed. Really hope
All
we can
right.
put that scheduling together. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. Jason, Cayden, Jared, thanks for spending a very late night with me.
Thanks for having us.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for the fun.
And a hearty thank you to all of our writers for this month's articles. Will Nelson, Aaron Talon, Ellie Appleby, as well as the full staff of our features. We already have Jared here, Chelsea Reed, Maisie Granger, Jeffrey Pollock, and of course to our fellow our other contributors for Medli's Melodies and Yuga's Art Gallery. So SilvaGunner as well as EliottSontot. There is a lot of you. Wonderful to have all of you contributing. Thanks to you for listening, and we will see you next time on the Zelda Universe podcast.